Jo, Digga, was geht?
Als ob das einen Unterschied macht, wo du reinredest.
Hört man das so doppelt?
Hello and welcome here to the Arena Cup in Berlin. We are currently in the 5th round of the Swiss. And David, what kind of game are we going to see now?
Well, we have the match again with Piotr Oljanski versus Hannes Strobel. Hannes plays Marowak Break. So he has the Break evolution with the Focus Sash, Lucario, and Crobat. So basically he plays fighting bats, but with 2/2/2 Marowak Break, which is a very strong card actually. And his opponent plays Manectric bats, so he has a weakness against fighting Pokémon. So it will be hard for him to win. But yeah, he has some tricks he can do, like he has Headringer, and also he has the bats as well, so he can always attack with the bats. And yeah, let's see what we are going to see. We also have Giovanni's scheme, and so the Focus Sash won't be too hard to break. And also, even though Lucario hits for weakness, it's hard for Lucario to one-hit knock out the Mega Manectric as well. He also has Xerath 6, so yeah, we'll just see what is going to happen. Okay, the first turn from Piotr is that he goes with the Ultra Ball for Wobbuffet, most likely to prevent Hannes from playing Shamans. As Hannes is cutting his deck, but it seems that Piotr doesn't have any supported card in his hand.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like.
Yeah.
There's the escape rope, so he promoted his...
Okay, yeah, he discarded a Professor Sycamore, and now he via Seeker's Right. And that's just very interesting to see as he discards his Manectric. You saw, well, he plays 2 Psychic Energy cards and 1 Wobbuffet. So the Wobbuffet is able to hit for weakness onto the Lucario.
Yeah, and he even plays the Dimension Valley, so he can attack with only 1 energy.
Yes. Also, we have 1 Super Rod and Super Scoop Ups, so, well, let's see how much the Wobbuffet is going to do. So now it's Hannes' turn. He also has Muscle Band and 1 Basic Energy card, and he plays Corinna, searching his deck for most likely a Cubone. So he needs to set up his Cubones fast, because if he takes too much time, they will faint by the shoot damage from the bats. So the first thing he goes for, Level Ball, Zubat, and Cubone.
So, David, what's your opinion about using such a complete new card and mechanic in such a great big tournament without having any real results from the success of Break Knogger?
Yeah, it's always a bit hard to play a card without a real meta game. It's a bit risky actually, but if you test, you're better if you play a complete new deck, because the opponents don't really know what to expect. So, for example, now you play Marowak, and I bet there are a few people who are like, "Oh, what does it do?" And this is very important. Yeah, they're both 3/01.
Yeah.
So
the deck seems to work actually.
Yeah, it does work. Okay, now we go for Professor Birch, hoping for heads, and this is. I'm pretty sure it's heads. Yes. So getting 7 cards, Professor Birch is very interesting. It's a bit gamble, but at the most games, like the expected value of 5.5, so a bit better than Shauna. As he has another Level Ball. So the Wobbuffet deals 20 plus 10 for each damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon. So he already has 20 because of Gorbat's ability.
So it would be 100 damage right now?
40, 60, should be 120 damage.
Yeah, with the 20 that's already on, yeah, the total one.
Yeah. So let's see, he gets another Zubat on his bench, and I'm pretty sure he has to fight with his bats, so he has to use the attack from Gorbat and Crobat. So the Gorbat deals 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon, and the Crobat deals 30 on 1 certain Pokemon. Here we see a Trainer's Mail. Oh, he got another Level Ball, so this might be very good for him to set up his 4th Zubat, as he actually goes for the level ball and searching the stack for the set Zubat. So a lot of bets on his bench. This is very important to get all the bets at your bench very early.
So he's playing a 3-3 2-line on Crobat?
He plays 4-4-3, so very, very huge Crobat line.
Okay.
And Hannes only
Hannes
has
is
3-3-2. So Hannes' line is a bit shorter, but he doesn't need the Crobats so much like Piotr does. Another Trainer's Mail, actually. So his deck is running 3 Trainer's Mail and 3 Level Wall. So he has a very fast deck. The only problem I see is that if its Wobbuffet gets knocked out, he will have big issues with dealing all the fighting stuff. But, well, the Crobats all have fighting resistance. So this might win him a bit of time.
So how does the stadium line in Hannes' deck looks like? I mean, how high are the chances for Piotr to keep up his Dimension Valley?
Well, Hannes plays 3 fighting stadiums, so there is a high probability to get the Dimensional Valley kicked, as Piotr only has 1 Dimensional Valley in his whole deck, so he really needs to play it at the right moment. So, for example, he had it on his hand now, but he doesn't need it this turn.
Yeah.
So,
but it's still risky. If his Wobbuffet gets knocked out, he is relied on the Super Rod to get back one of his 2 psychic energy and for only Wobbuffet.
Yes. This will be very hard. So the good thing is Lucario has 120 damage. So if you evolve into Crobat, you can shoot on, for example, the Cubone, and then attack the active Lucario. So because of the weakness, it's 120 damage. And here we see the Marowak, which is a very cool card from the new breakthrough, and Piotr actually has to read it. It can deal 10 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, so in combination with the bench stuff, it can be very annoying. And the other attack deals 60 to Pokemon X, and then your opponent has to switch, which is not, well, the most thrilling attack, but it's always interesting what these in-between stage 1s have, since if you break, you can still use its attack. And I see a Focus Sash on Hannes' hand, so he might actually go for attach the Focus Sash on Marowak and then attack with it later on. But now he wants to keep it because he never knows where the Crobat damage goes to. So if you have Crobat damage, the Focus Sash doesn't do anything too.
So do you think Marowak got the potential of finding some other partners for building decks, like the Eevees?
Well, the the Eevees are kinda interesting, but I think you'd rather play it with something like Vespi Queen. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I think Crobat is the best partner he can have at the moment. Yeah, now that the Wobbuffet is knocked out, he can play Shaman to use setup and drawing some cards. We see Hedringer in his hand, which doesn't do anything in this situation. And he was able to get another VS Seeker. And he actually plays another Birch, and not Sycamore. So there is something important in his hand that he doesn't want to discard now. He also got the Muscle Band on Golbat, so he doesn't need the Crobat now to knock out the Lucario. But I'm pretty sure he wants another Golbat to attack with the Crobat later on, as he won't be able to attack with if he doesn't draw it now. So let's see. Another Heads, very lucky on his side, but yeah, like I said, even if you flip Tails, you can just grab another Shaman and you set up. And yeah, Piotr has 2 Shamans in his deck, which actually might cost him the game, as they are Pokemon EX, so you can just Lysander and knock them out. Okay, he was into Crobat and into Golbat. 50 damage. It has 50 HP left. It's not enough for the Crobat to knock it out again. Only if he...
Yeah, but he rather takes the 2 prizes.
He just attacked.
For attacking the Lucario.
Okay, so he got a level ball from his prize cards. And Yeah, now the Crobat has resistance. This is pretty cool. Also, the Muscle Band now is kind of wasted, but of course he didn't know if he gets his Crobat before he played the Birch. And like I said, it's a huge risk to use it. So Hannes had to use his strong energy card onto the Marowak. And now he's a bit struggling. He needs this break evolution. He didn't play supporter yet, so there's a huge probability for him to get it.
Yeah, it's actually interesting to see that Hannes is actually only fighting against the supporter line of the deck of Piotr. He doesn't even use his Manectric X.
Yeah, he discarded it. Like, it's a risk to play the Pokemon with fighting weakness against a fighting deck, especially when they are Pokemon EX cards that can get knocked out easily.
I also find it quite interesting that Piotr is not using the Mega Manectric. He's only relying on the normal Manectric X.
Oh yeah, that's actually true. Like he plays a lot of Headringer, and the Manectric can shoot damage.
Yeah.
And he actually has the break evolution. It deals 20 damage and 40 for each prize card your opponent has taken. So at the end of the game, you can deal a lot of damage. Also, it's a fighting Pokemon, so it can abuse Focus Sash and Strong Energy card. So, well, for example, at this point, Piotr took 2 prize cards. So Bone Revenge deals 100 damage, plus 20 because of the Strong Energy card, minus 20 because of the resistance. So exact 100 damage. This is what he needs to knock out the Crobat.
Yeah, so and it also increases it max HP by 40. It's also quite hard now for Piotr to deal with it. Okay,
so you also can't use Scary Turn as he doesn't have any double colorless energy cards in his deck. So in order to use his Shamans, he would need too much setup for him to really make it worth it. Now he has to hope. And even though if Piotr takes another prize card, the Marowak just deals more damage. Yeah, as he uses the ability to put the Marowak on 80 HP now, so only 60 HP left. If with a Muscle Band and another Golbat, it's actually it's possible that he knocks out the Marowak.
Yeah, I see a Ultra Wall at least on his hand, so he could go for the
there is also
Crobat, and there's the Dimensional Valley, so he doesn't even need an energy to use Crobat's attack.
Now he has to hope to get one of his 3 Muscle Bands. We saw that 1 Muscle Band is in the Discard pile already, as it just got knocked out together with the Crobat last turn. Yeah, he goes for this play. He has to hope to get everything he wants. And he has Super Scoop Up on his hand. So maybe he tries to get the Shaman again. If he hits this time heads, it's the 3rd time heads in a row, which would be very lucky, but of course, this is Pokemon cards. And even if he flips tails, he can just play Ultra Ball for this 2nd Shaman. So he doesn't lose too much.
He goes for the Super Scoop Up and...
It's tails. Okay. So now it's time to pray. Yeah, he plays down the Stadium card and then Ultra Ball. Hannes now is in a bit weird position. The Holucha only deals damage to Pokemon EX, but he can just Lysander Shaman. Holucha ignores the resistance from Shaman, so with a Strong Energy card and a Muscle Band, you deal 100 damage. So you need from Crobat's Golbat damage, or you need the strong, not the Strong Energy card. You need the Fighting Stadium to deal the 120 you need to get 2 prize cards on the Shaman EX. But, well, you know, everyone is able to get it. And so also, if Piotr burns through his Crobats very fast, his damage output is
and another Tails.
Another Tails, and he doesn't have the Muscle Band. Okay, will he get his Wobbuffet back? Let's see. Yeah, it looks like he's going for this. So we see Wobbuffet, Psychic Energy, and most likely something from the bad line, maybe, or another energy card. Now he really has to think about what he gets.
That's a Crobat.
Yeah, he decides to get one of his Crobats back. So now he has in theory, a 4/4/4 Crobat option. And the Crobat is very important now. Like, he already got 2 of them, now 1 is back in the deck. Yeah.
And he decides to attach to the Shaman to
Yeah,
actually be able to use
yeah,
Sky
he just
Return.
attached an energy to Shaman. Like, he doesn't need any energy card to attack because of the dimensional value.
Yep.
So he can invest in 1 energy card. Maybe he can use Sky Return next turn to knock out.
Yeah, and he even gets his energies back to the hand
Yes.
then, so it's not wasted at all.
Yeah, Hannes searches his deck for his second Cubone. And since Piotr didn't took any more prize cards, the Bone Revenge is still at 200 damage now. With the strong energy card, it's 100 against a Crobat because of the resistance. And I'm not sure if he can deal 130 this turn, so it will be very interesting to see what he goes for. So the Marowak Break has 1 retreat cost because the normal Marowak only has 1 retreat cost. With the Break evolution, you keep your weakness, resistance, and the retreat cost from your old evolution stage. And he just attacks with Bone Revenge. Oh no, he sees Super Scoop Up. If he can get his card back, it's very huge because, yeah, he gets rid of the damage.
Yeah, and you can knock it out now without attacking, if I'm correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a new prize card, that also means that Bone Revenge will deal more damage if Hannes gets another break. But it's hard for him to get the break because you have to evolve into... Oh my god. You have to evolve into Marowak first.
Yeah, and he only plays a 2/2 line of Cubone Marowak.
But he got the Crobat, so now he will just shoot again 30 on the Marowak with Skill Dive.
Yep.
So this...
Well, Hannes can do the same now. He also profits from the Dimension Valley, but not as much as Piotr is doing at the moment.
Yes. Yeah, Hannes, I guess Hannes is just hoping for the knocking out to Shamans game at this point. And Piotr thinks about what he should do now. He has the option to use Xerasic on the Muscle Band or to play Sycamore. But it's weird. In Standard, you don't have N, so you don't fear to get End. Yeah, as this card doesn't exist in the format. So you can just play Sycamore at the end of your turn most times. Now we got Judge, and we have Ace Trainer, so every deck has an option to disrupt your opponent, but nothing compared with N. That could give you only 1 single hand card.
Yeah, Piotr's hand doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, he got Wobbuffet.
Yeah,
and
he
Hannes
got
didn't
one
kick.
of the 2 Psychic Energies. Got another Scoop Up.
And the Marowak goes on to 60 HP.
Yeah, thanks to the Skill Dive of Crobat, that doesn't require any energy at the moment. Not anymore.
Yep.
And that was his only Dimension Valley, and there should be no possibility for him to get it back.
Yes, now he needs a lot of energy cards to attack. So we see Marowak turning into... Cubone turning into Marowak. And Piotr still have the option to use Skill Dive and Golbat to knock out. And Hannes also shoots 30 on the Wobbuffet, since Wobbuffet is a huge threat at the moment to his break, Marowak.
Yeah, and if he
Another
gets
Super
rid of
Scuba.
it,
This is the last Super Scuba,
that would
I
be
guess.
huge.
And
it
another
would
head.
heads.
So Piotr having a lot of heads this game. I just said he only needs Crobat and Golbat, but now as he flipped heads, he gets both at the same time back. And he shoots damage on the Marowak, and he knocks it out in his turn. So a very huge turn by Piotr. A lot of prizes taken just by abilities, without even attacking. And he might actually go for Sky Return. No, he's still thinking about Sky Returning.
Yeah. I think he was just not as fast as you to see that.
Yeah, 50 damage is great, and you get your Shamans back.
And your energies and
Yeah.
your muscle band, so pretty much everything.
Yeah, and Hannes scoops the first game, so Piotr is 1-0 in the lead at the moment. After a very intense game of a few heads, Super Scooper is a crazy card.
Yeah.
Very, very strong You can do so much. You can get, for example, Shaman back, use setup again. You can get Manectric back, heal your damage, attach another energy card, deal 20/20. You can also get your, which is the best part of Super Scoop Up, you can get your Crobats back when they have damage. So we just saw this.
Yeah.
Crobat with 100 damage, Super
100.
Scoop Up heads. He gets Gorbot ability back, he gets Crobat ability back, and he doesn't have any damage, so one turn from his opponent completely wasted.
So, and if I remember right, you said in the start it's not that good matchup for Piotr thanks to the weakness.
Yeah, but Piotr played perfectly. Like he discarded the Manectric at the very beginning. We also had like Hannes didn't got his setup as perfect as it could have been, and Piotr was able to get his bats very fast, and he flipped heads in the right moment.
Yeah,
Like
especially with his supporters.
Yeah, we saw the Birch at the beginning. I'm pretty sure if he didn't have the heads on the
Twice.
or the heads on the Birch, it would have been a bit harder. But now Hannes can start the game, and maybe we see him, like he has the option to turn on one judge his opponent, which is so annoying. And maybe Piotr starts with Manectric. Also, like his Wobbuffet isn't that strong, as Hannes doesn't have any Shamans in his deck.
Oh, and he has to start with a Manectric.
Yeah, this is the worst start he can have against this deck.
Well, he can still scoop up it.
Yeah, he can.
And against bats is actually not that bad start.
Oh, Hannes' start looks really bad. He doesn't have a supporter card, only Ace Trainer, but you can only activate Ace Trainer if your opponent took any prize cards. So now he needs another bench Pokemon. He plays Ultra Ball, and let's see what he gets.
Yeah, his Lucario.
Lucario, yeah. Now he can attach all his energies to Lucario, and the second attack from Lucario actually says that you can draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. So even if you don't have a supporter, you can Ultra Ball for Lucario and attach energy to it. And yeah, do some crazy stuff, deal some damage. Missile Jab deals 50 with the strong energy that he has in his hand, and he just attacked. So with if he evolves into Crobat, and he can deal 20 damage on Manectric. So Manectric has 150 left. Lucario with strong and Fighting Stadium deals 70, 140. So there are 10 damage left.
Yeah, well, if he attaches second energy, strong energy, or gets a Fighting Stadium, he is able to one-hit him.
He has a Fighting Stadium on his hand.
Yeah, so he can do the one-hit next turn. With 60 plus 20 from... It's 80. Plus 20 from the stadium is 100.
Yeah, only if he top decks an energy card now.
Yeah, of course, with the second attack.
Yeah, he discarded his strong energy, his fighting energy basic instead of the stadium, which is, you could say it's a questionable play, but also he has to think about that the Manectric with Muscle Band can one-hit knock out the Zubat because it is weak to a Lightning Pokemon. And if he knocks out the Zubat, he doesn't have Crobat, so he needs as many damage as he can. And also, he has his Ace Trainer, so he can play a supporter card and do some crazy stuff. Okay, Piotr just had the choice between Level Ball and Muscle Band, and he went for Level Ball because we just saw in the first game that getting your Zubats into play early is so important in this matchup.
Yeah.
So, and he also knows this. He thinks it's more important to knock out. It's more important to set up your bats than to deal damage early on. And also he can still. Oh wait. He has Giovanni in his hand. He can use Giovanni to deal 20 damage more. That would be so cool. Let's see what he goes for. Giovanni or Birch.
Yeah, and we see the Giovanni.
Yeah, he uses Giovanni to deal more damage. Very cool card, Giovanni. Very versatile. The first effect, you can draw cards. In the second effect, you can deal more damage.
Oh, and actually now he can use his Ace Trainer.
Yeah, like I mentioned, he had to gamble a bit. Like, do I hope if my Zubat gets knocked out, or do I hope that it survives and I can use Corkscrew Smash? He went for the my Zubat will get knocked out play, which happened. So this was very good from Hannes, very good play here. And Piotr now only has 3 hand cards, especially at the beginning of the game when you still have a full deck. It really hits you hard. If this would have been an N, he would have 5 cards. So this situation,
let's
Ace
see
Trainer
if he
is
hits the
much
second
better.
energy.
Oh, we see the Sycamore. So Piotr is fine. And Hannes has
No energy.
he has a
as
lot of
far as
stuff,
I
but it
see.
looks like he doesn't have an energy card.
A muscle band.
Well, with Muscle Band, it's actually enough. Methyl Jab will knock out the Manectric. As you deal plus 20, 40, 60 because of all the fighting support stuff, and
So it's 90
so
and
90
weakness
and
makes it
with
180.
weakness, it's 180. Very amazing that Lucario is able to deal 180 damage with 1 energy card if you have the right setup. And yeah, now Piotr may be hoping for his Dimensional Valley. Well, he goes.
But then he shouldn't attach the lightning energy.
Oh, yeah, he does. He attached the lightning energy, so he knows with 1 Dimensional Valley, the chances of hitting it is so low. He rather waits 1 turn.
Yeah, so the surprise will be even bigger now when he hits it. It seems that the decision was right to attach it.
Obviously, you don't hope to get 1/2 off, which is the Psychic Energy and the Dimensional Valley with just 1 Sycamore. Okay, he was able to evolve into Crobat, and now it's very interesting what he will do. He has a Crobat on his hand, so we don't really want his Golbat to be knocked out, but he also doesn't want the Shaman and the Wobbuffet to get knocked out. So
yeah, it's nice to see now that with only 40 damage on the Lucario, he is able to one-hit it next turn when with Wobbuffet's attack.
Yeah, because of the weakness from Lucario.
So it's 70 damage. Weakness makes it 140. Exactly 180 total damage then.
Okay, let's talk about this one Wobbuffet. It's crazy. Super good in this deck. he only needs 1 energy card to attack with his Crobat, like 1 colorless card.
Yeah.
To attack with Manectric's second attack, he only needs 1 lightning energy. So in his mind, there was like, okay, I don't really need only lightning energy cards. What is a great card to combine with my bats? And he went for Wobbuffet as well. He had a bad matchup against fighting decks, so he could just play the Wobbuffet, Psychic Energy cards to hit the threatening fighting Pokemon for weakness, which is paying out at this moment. So we see Hannes a bit struggling with his energy cards. So he got a second one. The first attack.
There we see the judge.
Hannes is also disrupting his opponent quite well in this situation. And this is another point where if this would have been N, Hannes would have get 4 cards, so the same as Judge, but his opponent would have a 1 hand card more. So another time where Judge or Ace Trainer is actually better than N.
Yeah, I'm still not quite convinced about draw supporters that are only good in certain situations or under certain conditions. So
yeah, what I really love about this format is that we have VS Seeker, and VS Seeker is so strong that you can play 4 VS Seeker. So you can play every supporter just 1 time, and with VS Seeker you can pick the supporter you really want to use, kinda consistent. So he attacks with Lucario, which ignores resistance, so it deals exactly 70 damage?
30, 40, yeah.
Yeah,
70.
so it was a bit weird that he put the 20 damage. Maybe he forgot about his own effect. He kind of wasted his 20 Golbat damage, but, well, he just wanted to make sure to knock out this Golbat before it evolves into Crobat, which would result in a huge threat for him. So Wobbuffet has 110 HP. So with Corkscrew Smash, with another Master Band, it only deals 100 damage. So it's also kind of hard for Hannes to knock out the Wobbuffet next turn. He would need a Crobat, and an energy card. So I didn't see Hannes' hand
Strong
yet.
energy then. No.
Yeah, or else a strong energy card. Oh.
He
Interesting
decides
place
to
here.
Lysander the Cubone and passes.
Ah, yeah, he got judged.
Yeah,
so
he lost
his psychic energy
energy.
card. Let's see.
Yeah, and
Hannes will retreat.
And the funny thing is actually
most
that he got
likely,
the
or will he
Ultra Ball
shoot?
on his hand, but he can't search for a Shaman since he can't use the ability thanks to his own Wobbuffet.
Wobbuffet is so annoying. Yeah.
Even for yourself.
He attacked with a Marowak, which deals 30 damage to any Pokemon. I was just saying that he might think about shooting the Zubat. But he doesn't have Crobat or Golbat, so he isn't able to knock it out. And yeah, Piotr is really struggling at this point. He has one Shaman in his deck, and he knows that he has one Shaman in his deck, but he can't use it because Wobbuffet is there. And his own Wobbuffet, which is so nice in this matchup, is now standing in his way to get back in the game. Yeah, he uses his Super Rod to get another Psychic Energy in his deck, so he is maxing out his chances. And now, in game 2, Hannes' setup is very good. Like, he has a lot of Pokemon with energy cards, he has one Golbat, just... Yeah, it could be a bit better, but this is what he really wants at the moment. He still discards all his Focus Sash. In this matchup, his opponent can use Bats, and his opponent's deck is really just depending on two-hitting everything, so he would rather have the Master Bands instead of the Focus Sash in this matchup. Against Night March, the Focus Sash are so good. Like one of the best cards against Night March are Focus Sash. So he decided to go for a few Focus Sash. He plays 2.
Break Evolution.
And it's really paying off in some situations. Bone Revenge, 60 damage. It's not enough to knock out the Wobbuffet now, only if he gets Golbat, which he might be going for now with his Level Ball. Yeah, here we see the Crobat dealing another 20 damage on the Wobbuffet. And Piotr forfeits. Yeah, Wobbuffet was one of his few options to win this game.
And that option got destroyed by a judge.
I hate judges.
Yeah, if people still wondering, this card is called Judge.
Yeah.
It's not actually the person sitting on the table.
Yeah, what I like about Judge is you can play it turn 1. So, turn 1, your starting hand, you have 1 starting basic Pokemon and 6 other cards. And from these 6 cards, you have to shuffle them back, only get 4. And this can really hurt you.
You also drop yourself down to 4 cards.
Yeah.
Of course, you have opportunity to play those cards before. But if Judge is so good, why was Red card never played that much?
Well, the only reason why why people play Judge is because you don't have a lot of good supporters in this format. N is much better. N is good in the beginning of the game because you get 6 cards. At the mid game because you kinda hurt both, so you hurt yourself a bit and your opponent, and at the end of the game you can make your opponent not drawing the cards they need. But Judge is only good at the middle of the game and at the beginning of the game. Judge also gives your opponent more cards sometimes. So I have one card in my hand, this is a Professor Sycamore, and your opponent is like, Judge. And I think, that's not too bad, I get more cards. Yeah. So Judge is very situational. Ace Trainer is also at some situations better than N, but at most don't. It's very interesting to see the supporter setup. Most people play for Sycamore because 7 new cards. There are so many new cards. 7, that's much. The only supporter that ever gave you 7 cards are Sycamore and Juniper, and pretty much every deck always plays 4 of them.
Oak.
Yeah, Professor Oak gives you
7.
But it wasn't a supporter card back in the day.
Yeah, okay. You won.
Yeah, and also you have Professor Birch and Shauna. The cards aren't just as good as the expanded supporters, so it's always a bit weird which supporter you want to play in a standard tournament.
Yeah, and you can see it really nice on Hannes' list. He's playing with 4 Sycamore, like we mentioned, and then all the other supporters,
Once.
Judge once, Giovanni once, Ace Trainer once. So that just tells us how good the Versus Seeker is and makes those situationally supporters so strong, since you can choose when you want to play which one.
Also, Piotr's list. He plays 1 AZ. And I just want to talk about the AZ a bit. AZ is, you can get your Crobats back. And like we said, it's a bit like a Super Scoop Up, but you don't have to flip. And you can also get your Shamans back. So if you play AZ, you have the option between, okay, I use Setup again, draw until I have 6 cards, or you heal your Crobats. So AZ, in a lot of decks, is like your Bianca. Like, do you remember Bianca?
Yeah.
I do. And it's a bit, in some situations it's better, at some situations it's a bit worse, but
Yeah.
AZ is a cool card.
Yeah. And
Um,
you don't care about the drawback actually with not getting the attached energies or tools back, since you mostly use it on the Shaman, which has nothing
Yeah.
attached, and
Or on
the
a Crobat,
Crobats.
which is just sitting
Yeah.
on the bench, also with nothing. And yeah, the other supporters, Piotr plays is like Sarasek, Lysander, Giovanni, and Professor Birch, like the standard stuff you see in pretty much every deck, which is interesting. And I just realized Hannes doesn't have Lysander. He only plays
Yeah,
Karina
true.
and Sycamore for the consistency. And because his deck, well, if I was talking about it, like, oh, he could just Lysander Shaman, knockout, but he doesn't
Yeah.
have any Lysander in his deck, so this was the reason why he never played like he could win by just knocking out Shamans.
So what do you think about Hannes' decision now in his first turn to search for the Lucario with his Corinna?
Yeah, Lucario is good in this matchup at the beginning of the game. Like, in the late game, it's a bit weird, and you rather have
Yeah, but he already saw that that Piotr got Wobbuffet out already. So if he evolves his 2 Subats, it's actually already enough with a Muscle Band to one-hit Lucario.
Yeah, you have to keep in mind that Hannes hitters are Lucario, Crobat, and Break Marowak. And the Break only deals damage if your opponent took prize cards, so they have to feign something before, and the Crobats only deal damage in the very late game. So he just have to get something at the beginning, and Lucario is the only option he has. So no matter what, he has to get the Lucario at the beginning to knock out other Pokemons with the Marowaks later.
Oh, and he hits another Subat, and he got the Dimension Valley and 3 energies, actually.
Oh, he got a lot.
Yeah. And he could even Ultra Ball for another Shaman.
Yeah, Piotr starting this game was very important. Now he got Headringer on Lucario, he got Dimensional Valley, he got the Wobbuffet, Golbat, he got everything. This is very huge. Having this board on the second
So there he
turn.
takes his first prize card and also disables his opponent's Shamans.
Yeah. Now his opponent doesn't play Shaman as well. Like, he plays a fighting
yeah,
deck. He has
true.
Karina. You don't need Shaman that much. Interesting fact: Wobbuffet has Psychic Weakness, so with a Muscle Band, the Golbat can deal 60 damage. And since the Stadium is still in play,
he doesn't need
an energy, so he can charge his Lucario, knock out the Wobbuffet, and like we just saw in the first game, if the Wobbuffet gets knocked out once, it's very rare to see it coming back.
Yeah, the only option is the 1 Super Rod then.
Yeah. Also, he just discarded 1 energy card, which is interesting. So there is something he wants to draw, most likely a Cubone, to put another energy card on. Or he doesn't realize the Dimension Valleys is still in play. Yeah, he plays Holucha down just for not having it swinging around in the deck and for a free retreat. And it doesn't really look like he got the Muscle Band. So now we see Ultra Ball. Well, interesting choice what he will get now. So he has the option between Marowak and another Zubat, and both are kind of good at the moment. I'm not quite sure what he wants to go for. Yeah, Zubat. He goes for Zubat. I don't think there is a right or wrong at the moment, but Zubat is strong because weakness from Wobbuffet, and Hannes needs to take prize cards somehow, and he needs to get rid of this Wobbuffet. Oh, he doesn't attack with Golbat, but he attacks with Lucario, dealing 50 damage. The Headringer says he needs 1 energy card more.
Yeah, so he can only use his first attack.
Yeah, and if Piotr gets heads on this Super Scoop Up, he can heal his Wobbuffet. But fortunate for Hannes, he flips Tails. So, but let's see if Piotr gets enough bats to get so much damage on the Lucario.
It's only possible to get 1, if I'm right. I mean, he got 1 Ultra Ball, and he can get 1 bat.
Yeah. Let's see what else is in his hand. Did you see this?
I did see, but I don't quite remember.
Okay. He doesn't have the option to go for Shaman now because the Wobbuffet is still active.
Yeah, so he's going for Crobat.
Yeah. So dealing 30 on the.
So it's actually
Lucario.
10 damage missing for the 1 hit.
Yeah, Wobbuffet deals 140 now. It's so crazy with only a few damage and with weakness, Master Band, all that stuff. You can do so many. You can deal so much damage with such a few amounts.
He still goes for the attack and can knock it off then with a Golbat, but.
But it seems like he doesn't have a supporter card.
No, he doesn't. The Lysander and another Lightning Energy, if I saw correctly now.
Okay. So Hannes, yeah, we saw he discarded the Judge, obviously. If your opponent didn't play a supporter card, you don't play Judge.
He also cannot really stall out something with Lysander since pretty much everything has no retreat.
Yeah, he also was able to kick the Dimensional Valley, which, like we mentioned, he only plays 1 Valley, so it's very huge to kick this one.
Yes.
And now he needs to attach energy cards to knock out Pokémon.
That's something very unusual that you actually need to attach energies to knock out Pokémon.
Yeah. We don't see this very often. Oh, he needs energies to knock me out. What is this? No, but he didn't need them last turn. Like with the Dimensional Valley, you don't need energy cards, which is better to need 1 energy. But Skill Dive only takes 1, so it's not too bad if you.
Well,
have to
he got
attach
that
them.
energy at least on his hand.
Yeah, but again,
And he got a Manectric. That's
again,
actually
Hannes didn't play down an energy card.
Yeah, so he got 2 prizes now. I think it was an AZ and a Scoop Up.
Ah, so no supporter that he can draw cards with yet. Hannes was able to get another Lucario and another Crobat, so 80 damage on the Crobat if he retreats now and attacks with Lucario X, which, yeah, like I just said, ignores the resistance, and Hannes actually got the Headringer from his opponent, which he just passed back. This is something you always have to keep track of. Headringer, you attach it to your opponent's Pokemon, and if the Pokemon gets knocked out, it doesn't go to your opponent's discard pile, but to your discard pile. Everyone forgets this.
Well, if you're lucky, you're
from
playing
time to
different
time.
sleeves, so it's actually easy to see them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy if you play the same sleeves. Okay, Hannes goes for the Judge now. And maybe he expected his opponent to get good cards. Maybe his opponent was winking when he got to the prizes.
Good either. I mean, he could bounce his Crobat back and spread more damage, but yeah, he didn't have any draw option.
Maybe Hannes had something very important. For example, a Marowak when one is prized in a sense, so he doesn't. He mustn't discard it with Sycamore. So he rather has the Judge. And like his opponent had 5 hand cards, he goes down to 4. He has a chance of getting the supporter back, but still.
So we have Muscle Band, a Level Ball.
And AZ. So
AZ again.
he can deal a lot of damage, getting rid of damage as well. But let's see what he goes for. Top deck Ultra Ball or supporter would be very important now.
You can actually use Shaman again since the Wobbuffet is gone now.
Yeah, and now the Crobat is on 80 damage. And you got a Versus Seeker. Crazy.
So strong.
So much damage now. 100 because of the weakness, plus 40 because of the Golbats, which he
Yeah.
doesn't actually put on the Lucario because it's not enough. If you use Crobat, it's 140, so he can just attack twice. And also he might want to knock out the Zubat instead of the Lucario, because he doesn't want a lot
but
of bad
to put
damage.
it the 20 damage now on the Lucario.
Oh, what is the calculation there? Like, you have 20 damage and 120, and then it has 60 HP left. So if it has 60 HP left, you can attack with Muscle Band Golbat, or you can attack without Muscle Band and Crobat. Or you can
Yeah.
shoot it with Crobat.
Yes.
Oh no, you can't shoot it with Crobat because you need the weakness. But yeah, with the 20 damage, after you attack, you can deal a lot of damage.
Yeah, and I think the Lucario is also the bigger threat on the board now and not the Zubat.
Mm.
Oh, well, it's a Shaman now also on his hand.
Yeah, now he can use it again. Okay, this is a Trainer's Mail, and we see Super Scoop Up. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to use the Super Scoop Up this turn because yeah, he cannot attack with Golbat with Crobat if he uses it now because he already attacked it. He evolved both of his bench Pokemon, didn't he? Yeah, he evolved both of them.
Yeah.
Now 100 damage on the Lucario, so it's at 120 now. Having 60 HP left, so it's enough for Super Cross with Muscle Band or just Crobat Skill Dive. He evolves his Cubone, and he's thinking again. He has a strong energy card. Now he has an energy card, finally.
I think it would be also important now for Hannes to evolve his Zubat. Otherwise, Piotr got the option to actually draw 3 prizes next turn. With killing with Zubat and knocking off Lucario.
Yeah, he only deals 50 damage. No, he deals 50 damage on the Crobat, so it's knocked out.
Yes, but if he gets a Crobat and
Yeah, if he gets Crobat and deals 30 on the Zubats get knocked out, and then he can just knock out the Lucario.
yeah, and
so
that's 3
yeah,
prizes.
He just needs Crobat and energy card to win. If
Yeah, and
Hannes
he still
doesn't
has
have
the Shaman and the Versus. Oh no, the Shaman is gone now with another judge, but the Versus Seeker was there, and there was Energy.
Okay, let's see if Hannes is able to get to grab another Golbat. He decides for the escape rope. This allows him to get his Lucario back, so the weakness doesn't trigger.
But he can
And
still
he also
send
has
up- oh, yeah,
the
was the evolution.
Golbat, and then he can shoot 30 on the Crobat if he wants to. And because it's on the bench now, the resistance doesn't apply. So this was a very good turn. Escape rope, still a good card. Like this play, you have double advantage. You can ignore the resistance from your opponent, and you can ignore your own weakness on the next turn. So Piotr is still in the better spot, I would say, but he has a bit struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, but they are running low on time now as well. So we can see it on the top right. It's less than 2 minutes.
It's only 1 minute left. 2 minutes left, actually. And I'm pretty sure this... Well, with 3 turns left, Piotr might win the game, but Hannes will have problems to draw 4 prize cards. Okay, this is... Oh, the timer now, it's crazy. Hannes needs at least 3 turns. 4 turns. So time has to be called. Whoa. With time being called, I don't see Hannes winning this. So it's a tie or Hannes loses. What do you think?
Probably, yeah. I was just thinking about if it would be worth attacking with the Golbat now. And you can put the enemy's Golbat on 30, then one ability from Crobat would be enough to get off the Golbat. And then that would put the Lucario on 130 damage. That means 50 left. Well, that seems also quite hard.
Well, it's
but
still very, very hard. It really depends on when time gets called. But and the thing is, both players know that the time was called because they started a bit later.
yeah.
And okay, Piotr just passes, and now Hannes has to move fast. And is he able to attack before time is called? This is so thrilling. Okay, he goes for a level ball, so there's no chance. He finished his turn before time was called. It's being called.
Yeah. So do you think that was the right call to pass the turn instead of attacking with Golbat?
Well, Piotr wants to use his Crobat. So he doesn't want to take the risk of the Golbat getting knocked out. If he evolves, he can deal 30 on Lucario, and then attack to deal another 30.
Yes.
And yeah, now it's timeout.
But he got 3 prizes
And
left, so he should care about knocking off Golbat as well. Maybe. At least it seems like the easiest target to get his 3rd prize.
Yeah, Hannes also needs a Crobat. So let's see if he gets it. With Ace Trainer, you get 6 cards. Now, in this situation, is also, again, this is better than N, because you get more cards.
Yeah.
And your opponent still only has 3. He has the Break, and does he also have the Crobat?
Yeah, now actually Bone Wrench does quite a lot of damage with 3 prizes taken.
Yeah,
That's
okay, first
140
extra turn.
minus resistance.
Okay, so Piotr needs the Crobat. Let's see if he can get it. Oh, he has a Lysander. If he Lysanders the Lucario, then he only has to take 1 prize card.
Yeah, and he got 1 more turn then.
Has on the Shaman, oh god. And I'm pretty sure he just attacks now. Yeah, he doesn't want to play... Like, we know that Hannes doesn't have Lysander, but Piotr doesn't.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to take the risk of getting the Shaman knocked out, but this is extra turn 2. So Hannes can't win.
Yeah, and now the strong thing is also that he used the attack from Golbat, that put the enemy Golbat on 30 damage.
Hannes needs to get the Crobat. Hannes can't win. He can only prevent his opponent from win, so they tie. Which would put both players on a 3-0-2 score, so they still can make the cut if they win everything else. But, well, let's see. The timer. It's crazy. Timeout. Oh, you never want to tie if you are in the winning spot like Piotr.
Yeah.
Like, if Piotr has enough time, he will win. I'm so certain that he will win.
But it's crazy how much damage you can deal just with your Crobat line.
Yeah, in this game, Piotr usually has Manectric, Crobat.
Yeah.
But he
and
only used Crobat, Wobbuffet, Crobat
Yeah,
Shaman.
and in most decks, the Crobat line is supposed to be this damage supporting role and not the main damage dealers.
Yeah. Yeah, it really looks like Piotr played quite often against fighting decks.
Like actually just missed that Hannes got the Crobat.
Yeah, Crobat. So this might prevent him from losing. Like I said,
But
he can
what
only
about
prevent
Lysander on the Havlucha and Surprise Bite plus Skill Dive?
Oh, that's enough.
That would be enough, yeah?
Yeah. But he knocks out the
okay.
Golbat. So if he evolves, he can deal 20 more damage. So
that would put him on 30, and the attack would put it on... No.
It's a tie.
30? And with Lysander... Oh, he got the Giovanni, but then he can't Lysander. Yeah, he goes for the Havlucha, that puts him on 30.
Yeah, he can level ball for another Zubat. And he just needs to knock out the Holucha, and there is no way for Hannes to heal it.
Yeah, I think he just recognized that as well.
I think they are debating about if they should just say it's a tie.
It's the last turn anyway. If Piotr passes now or attacks whatever, the game is over.
Yeah.
Was the last extra turn. So, but with a knockout on that last goal, but the game actually turned again. I think Hannes is now actually in the better position.
Well, not quite sure. If he's only in the better position if Piotr doesn't have another Zubat, which we will never know. But if he gets another Zubat, he just needs to evolve that one, and then he can knock out the
His last
the
prize is
Holucha.
a Crobat. Yeah.
Okay, so a tie. A very thrilling game.
Yeah.
A lot of mispredictions by our side because this is a crazy matchup.
Yeah, but that is the good thing if your prediction goes actually wrong.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's interesting because
that's the best that actually can happen instead of pretending everything what happens.
yeah, like if you know what happens before, it's super boring.
Yeah.
But with these two guys, we had a super interesting match.
Yeah.
A lot of damage dealt, and it's
interesting matches.
so important. Just a few, like 10, 20 damage
Yeah.
dealt on the wrong Pokemon can cost you the game. And if you do everything right, you can do so much with these bets.
It was also a good call from Piotr to scoop the second game actually, because we saw now
Yeah.
the time it
Like
almost
it
actually
could have
fitted
it could
in.
have helped him. Also the last situation. Like we know that the Golbat will be knocked out next turn, most likely by the break Marowak, but still he had the Holucha on the bench,
Oh yeah.
so you can just shoot the Holucha. So he had the Crobat to deal 20 damage, and he just needs Zubat, and then next turn evolve, attach energy card.
Any
so
price is enough.
yeah, and then he would have won. Otherwise, if he didn't have this, Hannes would have won. So very, very close game. Something that, well, this is worth to end in a tie actually, but of course it would have been better to actually have a finished game.
This just reminds me about the card we loved yesterday about, what was it actually? His attack was called Draw a Prize if it's your last one you want to game.
the new slow bro from the
Yeah,
Japanese
right.
expansion that says if you only have one prize card left, you win the game. So it's kind of weird. You can just like it needs 3 energy cards. So for 3 energy cards, you can also just knock out your last Pokemon from your opponent. But it's funny
If you
that
can't
it
knock out
actually
anything,
yeah, and then
then I just win the game. Okay.
you're good to go. Like I win. There was one card that says you win. Lost World. It said you may choose you to win the game if your opponent has 6 Pokemon in the Lost Zone. Very, very interesting mechanics. It's cool that we have so much change at the moment. We have Perilous City, these double stadium cards. You can switch them. So like one card, but two choices. I really like this. Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the break evolutions are pretty much the same. It's
Yeah.
one card, but gives you a lot of more possibilities for choosing of free attacks and increasing the HP of your Pokemon. And
for example,